Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Rochelle Scouten, the Development Director at the NBDA. Today we have a presentation from Beeline. Beeline Connect is a software company that brings service and fulfillment scheduling tools to the bicycle industry to facilitate all touches of the consumer journey. Since its inception, Beeline software has enabled more than 35,000 service and fulfillment appointments. This week, Beeline released a free version of its online scheduling software called Schedule, which is now available to all bicycle retailers in the US. Here to talk about how online scheduling helps retailers interact with their customers in a world affected by COVID-19, and to give us a demonstration of this new free software is Neil Mack, VP of Network Development at Beeline Connect.
Thanks, Rochelle, and thank you all to the folks that are joining us here live, and for the future folks that are watching this session in the recorded format. Yeah, we're excited to talk about how many bike shop owners, general managers, retailers, even mobile guys are reacting to the new environment with COVID-19, and how online service scheduling is one of the many tools that we can use to really do some awesome work and still provide great services to those riders that are needing their bikes tuned up, and giving them a way to get out there and continue to use the bicycle as a healthy form of exercise while still maintaining some social distancing. So thank you for the opportunity from the NBDA to run through this little presentation and give kind of an insight to the newest product that Beeline Connect released this week, which again is a free service scheduling tool for independent bicycle retailers called Schedule. With that, I will kind of jump into the quick presentation, and then we'll do a demo. So first question is, what is online scheduling? And at its most basic form, it lets a bike shop give their customers an option to book a service appointment from that bike shop's website. It really should be thought of as an alternative option for that rider from the typical way they would either walk into a retail store and come up to a service department desk and say, hey, I need a tune-up or I need a flat fix. When can you get it done? And or that customer making a phone call and saying, when can I bring my bike in for bicycle service, which of course we all know happens all the time, but has some limitations in that it can only be done during business hours. So online scheduling is a tool that complements those other ways of interacting with your customers while giving them an ability to connect with you and your service department at all hours and every day of the week. One of the advantages online service scheduling gives us in general, but particularly in an environment affected by COVID-19, is that in real time, your customers can see when there is availability to get their bicycle serviced. Through the software, through the scheduling tool, they can coordinate the exact day that they want to drop off their service, or drop off their bicycle for service, or pick up their bicycle from having a completed service. It also has a lot of efficiencies in terms of interacting with your staff, which by itself is a benefit, but particularly now when we want to be extra cautious, extra sensitive to our staff's safety and interaction, and limiting the face-to-face and person-to-person interaction. By doing online scheduling, we're receiving a lot of the standard information that any bicycle mechanic needs in order to get the bike going, i.e. what's the customer's information, their contact info, what's the information about their bike, and can really help smooth the exchange of the bicycle from the rider to the retailer with a kind of curbside pickup or drop off. In addition to that, online scheduling often will have some sort of mobile element. By mobile, I mean, mobile bike shop, a van, a truck, a pickup, do delivery service, or even a full-fledged mobile shop that does the service at the rider's location. And online service scheduling can dig into the exact time of day for service. And we're actually seeing this be used by retailers today for pickup and drop off functionality. Idea being, if a rider needs a tune-up but they don't want to go into the bike shop, they would very much like someone to come by and go by the side of the house and grab the bike and then bring it back fully tuned up a day or two later. Online service scheduling really helps enable all of that. One of the things that we'll be talking about is specifically this free offering of online service scheduling tool from Beeline Connect, and specifically some of the pieces that it gives retailers today, the tools to let them riders see their service availability in real time, so it's not a assumed turnaround time. The retailer always controls what availability they have down to the exact day, so that you can be very, very strategic about how you're staffing, how you're fulfilling customers' desires and needs for their bicycle service. Another piece of the scheduling software is that it does integrate with your website, and so it's not taking your customer off onto another website. It is keeping them focused on your business being the service provider, your business being the solution for their bicycle needs, and that continues on to the automated email and text notifications that are interacted with that rider, all done with your branding. The other piece that we'll talk about today is both an in-shop implementation and a mobile implementation. The Beeline scheduling tool does offer support for both instances. So we're getting a huge amount of interest from retailers today that are saying, hey, how do I add a mobile element to my service department business? How do I let customers know when I can come to their house, when I can drop off their fully tuned up bike, when I can come pick it up for the next service, that sort of thing. So we will see that in the demo today. For the demo, we're going to be using a demo version of the Beeline software. It's not a production server. I only highlight that just because it's a something we have just for this kind of demonstration purpose. It's not the fastest server in the world, so if there's a slight delay on a page load, my apologies. We're going to be going through a workflow of a fictitious bike shop based in Truckee, California. This bike shop doesn't exist, but it's what we've done for this demo demonstration of the software itself. This fictitious bike shop has one brick and mortar location as well as one mobile location, effectively a service van, which supports a defined set of zip codes, which you will see here in just a moment. So if I jump out of here and hop onto the dashboard for the retailer who is using the Beeline software, you'll notice here under subscription details that we have this account set up for the Beeline Connect Schedule software. This is, again, the free service scheduling tool that is available. You will see a credit card window here that is for the other types of subscriptions that are paid. The schedule free software does not require a credit card to be put in. It's not a trial period. It's truly a software tool that's available, that's fully functional and can be used by anybody in the US to offer online scheduling. Couple of just quick things to talk about in terms of management. We did design this for a single bike shop location as well as multiple bike shop locations with many employees. If I click here into the employees, this fictitious thing, I've just put myself in here as one employee. Software fully supports multiple employees with a variety of different permissioning levels, so you can really fine tune how you want your staff to be interacting, what they can and can't adjust as that. The other piece is, as we get into the shops will have specific criteria that you actually control. And so things like the notification emails, the contact, what's the phone number for each location. So to the extent that you have multiple locations, you'll really parse out which way everything is presented to your customer. And then I mentioned earlier in the slide presentation was really controlling your schedule. Here is a mock-up schedule of this fixed location. You can see we've set the shop hours, which is totally configurable, but also the amount of service time available. And so here on Thursday, you'll see, we've already have some appointments in here. There are 2 hours of the total available 3 hours have been booked. Again, this is something that the Beeline software makes totally configurable so that you can go in and adjust and tweak and manage however works best for your business. That also carries on to the mobile shop entity as well. Biggest difference with mobile shop is that instead of just one location, it has a set of zip codes that it does support, which you saw in that map earlier in the presentation. This is kind of how you control all of your availability in terms of what the rider can come in and see and make available to them and grab service appointments. But I'm going to want to jump here over to what's kind of the rider's experience. How does the rider interact with this bicycle retailer? Again, totally customizable. So load up your logo, load up your imaging, everything builds off of this. So it really is shown as your business that the rider is interacting with. There's two primary ways the rider that you can integrate this online service scheduling tool into your website. The simplest technically is you're actually given a landing page from the Beeline site that you can just point to with a really simple link. So it goes to a page like this and has these hot buttons that will go into the service flow. I'm going to actually run through the demonstration of a little bit more integrated method, which is adding this scheduling button. And so with these different criteria, including the colors and how you want it to say, how you want that button to be presented on your website, you can generate this snippet of code. And I'm going to jump here to just the back end of a WordPress management tool. I real quickly spun up a website using WordPress. The Beeline snippet works with basically any website, but I wanted to show very quickly that when we can build a website very quickly, we just cut and paste that code into there, and that produces a scheduling button on the website that you already have, which we'll see here on the service page, is this button right here, schedule service now. And so that's the flow that we're going to go through right now as a rider interacting with this fictitious bike shop. So if I pop this open, we get into schedule appointment again. We do have both options here because this is a bike shop that has a fixed location and a mobile location. We'll start with the in-shop flow for this. We do always grab the bicycle information from the customer, and that way we can kind of capture a lot of the insight about what the customer believes is wrong with their bike, which is valuable. This is, obviously select a shop. This particular scenario only has one location, but to the extent that your business has multiple locations, they will all show up here in this list. This is the place where we're actually really wanting to make sure the customer has a great experience, which is let's show them what availability actually exists. Again, this is going back to those scheduling settings that you have control over to show that in this particular case, we've set this business up to be open on Tuesday through Saturday, closed on Sunday and Monday, but can capture appointments, take in bikes on any of these 5 days. Again, not something that's required. This is a service scheduling tool. So while I've built this to map to the same hours that are listed on the website itself, this is something that's totally configurable for the retailer to make presentable to your customer base. For in-store, we run kind of a logic of there's a drop-off date, which is going to be, in this scenario, I've selected the 2nd today. It's assumed the service will be done on the 3rd with pickup done on the next business day. This stuff is all dynamic, so as the rider, I choose the 4th, that assumes that'll be the 8th. These are just the default settings, and of course, you'll have full permissions to override what each customer appointment has, so that you can accelerate or decelerate if you have special order parts that are needed, or if you can get the work done faster, you can go in and adjust that, which we'll show you in just a moment here. And that'll trigger off all the notes to the rider, letting them know when their bike is actually done. But let's go ahead and continue with just the 2nd. At this point, we of course need to get some of the customer's information. I'll just throw in a fake phone number. They enter a password for their account, and then they hit finish. This does a couple of things automatically. One is this rider is now given, obviously, a confirmation here on the page that they've received this. It does send a notification to you informing you that you have a new service appointment. It also sends a notification to that rider via email, just confirming that they have that done. One thing I want to highlight about this, again, you won't see the logo here because we're using this demonstration server, but your logo would be presented. We're putting your information in the footer, and even the reply to for this email is going to go back to the retailer's business. So it's all customizable for your shop or shops. The other place that I'm going to show the rider flow is in the mobile environment, and that's going to be the at home or work flow. We'll need obviously a location, since they're not going to be coming to that bike shop. But if they want to have you come by, pick up the bike for service, do the service on site, that's something that the software all fully supports. We'll hit save there. And now we're going to be continuing on. One thing I think you'll notice real quickly here is, as this rider is going through the sign up flow, because this is the same rider, they will not be prompted for their email and their first and last name and their phone number again. That is something that is carried along within the browser session, which just makes it so much easier for their needs to interact with your business quickly. So again, next available appointment date here is on the 2nd. That's built again off of the schedule setting that you have done previously on your dashboard. If I just go ahead and select maybe on the Friday, we're now going to actually see the exact time of day that this mobile location will be arriving at the customer's location. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick 12 noon and then continue. Any special requests, get there. And likewise, we will see a matching email reminding the rider that they did book this service and which location that they're going to be coming at. And again, all branded with the retailer shop. One thing we won't see in today's demo, but does exist with all of the Beeline Connect software tools, are automated reminders. And so had this appointment been out maybe to next week, this customer, Abe Froman, would have received a reminder of his appointment the day before as well. And that's true for in-shop as well as mobile appointments. I'm gonna jump back now to the dashboard that we have here for the retailer. And so if I jump to in-shop appointments, we're going to see all the in-shop appointments that are on the calendar and are actionable. This here, of course, being the appointment that we just saw created for in-shop. We can dig into the details. We can see what the bike is. We can see the comments that the customer mentioned in there. And then we go through the entire life cycle of what an appointment is, including, the bicycle has arrived at the shop. We can mark that done. Once the service has been done, we can mark it ready for pickup, which sends notifications to the rider, both text and email, letting them know. And then we can actually mark the entire appointment done as a completed service. Oops, I forgot I did not mark I didn't change the date, which is why I got that error. So I would need to change the pickup date to today. The other piece that we can do here is very similar flow for all the mobile. Again, here is that mobile appointment for Abe Froman that was just booked, and other appointments that you can see in here that go on the calendar for this mobile location. So that is the conclusion of the software demo. There's obviously a lot of other functionality in there, but that's the main overview of how online service scheduling can integrate with your website and let customers interact with you during business hours, during off hours, as well as letting you add a mobile element to your existing business if you are interested in doing that. If there are any further questions, we can always do follow-ups. Beeline Connect is always available at subscriptions@beelineconnect.com. You can also go to beelineconnect.com/retailers and sign up again for free and get this integrated now if that is something that is interesting for your business. Rochelle, did we have any questions from the group?
We do have questions coming through. First one is, thank you for the demo. How does this program handle spam or fake appointment requests, especially for the mobile option? Any suggestions for verifying real appointment requests?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll resist getting into too much of the technical details of how we prevent that, so that the Beeline Connect tech team doesn't yell at me for saying something inaccurate, but they have developed the rider sign up flow in such a way that it combats any sort of bot appointments. So it's not something that's vulnerable to that sort of abuse. It is another piece is that Beeline Connect does have a full-time support staff that is helping to review appointments as they come in. I haven't seen a fake appointment happen in quite some time, especially since the tech team developed the kind of barriers and logic to prevent bots from doing this sort of service sign up flow. So great question, but I'll have to give full credit to the tech team for figuring out that solution that we've seen work out extremely well.
All right, next one. Is it possible to turn off the pickup part of the appointment initiation process?
So it is the mobile, I assume that this is related to the mobile piece or the in-shop piece. Maybe I'll just answer both. So for the mobile, the pickup is kind of assumed and something that retailers are using the software tool to handle the pickup part. And that's for more of an organization that's going to a rider's house, grabbing the bicycle, bringing it back to the main shop, doing the service, and then returning it. Others are just doing the service at the rider's location. If you were talking about the in-shop part, the place where the, let me get here to this appointment piece where we mark things as arrived and then ready for pickup. It is possible to mark it as ready for pickup without notifying the customer. And that's what that checkbox was that said, would you like to send an email or an SMS text? So that is something that you can intentionally stop from going out.
All right. Question, is this software only available in the USA or is it available in Canada as well? And if not, is there plans to make it available in Canada?
Yeah, great question. Today it is only available in the US. And that's the logic that we've built out with the addresses and the zip codes and the, even the in-store functionality. Canada is obviously very, very close and near and dear to our roadmap and is on the horizon for that functionality making available. I don't have a firm date on when we can make this available in Canada, but it is something we would like to get done quickly.
All right. Can you restrict appointments for a limited number of weeks ahead?
That's a great question. So functionally, yes. There's not a a blanket, hey, I only want to have service for the next 2 weeks. But within the service scheduling tool, and let me just go to the schedule real quick. We have the standard schedule, and this kind of pushes out into the future for quite a ways. And you can see that here. Realistically, we don't see riders booking service out more than just a few weeks. But to the extent that you said, hey, I don't want to make this available after, let's just say it was April 30th, we do have this exception concept, which can let you close a shop, adjust the hours, adjust the available time for any particular day. And I have seen retailers go in and put a buffer out of a few weeks and then kind of reload and reset these exceptions on kind of a weekly cadence to achieve that sort of functionality so that it's more of a narrower window that the service time is shown for your customers.
Perfect. How long does it take a typical shop to get set up on this system?
Yeah, that's a great question. Typically, it's less than 5 minutes for the sign up flow. So coming into beelineconnect.com/retailers, clicking the try for free, you'll enter all of your location information, your business information. You'll be set up with a master login called a company admin. Right out of that flow, we have a team that are standing by and verifying addresses, nearly real time. In terms of implementation onto your web page, that can vary depending upon what your website is. Again, I came in and got this snippet in here, cutting and pasting through the WordPress site, and it took about 2 minutes to cut and paste it there. Make sure it looks correct on a normal web page, but yeah, it can be implemented extremely quickly if you'd like it to be.
All right. Can you show the pickup and delivery experience from the customer side?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let me see if those emails did come over here, because I don't know. They probably did. But here is the ready for pickup email that our dear friend Abe Froman received. And we do put in the shop hours as you have them listed. I don't have an ability to show you the text message that this would have happened, obviously, because I have put in one, a fake email, and two, I don't have a screen share of my iPhone going on for this demo. But the messaging is exactly the same as that highlighted text there for the text message.
All right. What is the difference between the free software and the software that costs $39 a month?
Good question. So Schedule Plus is a more robust scheduling tool that has some additional features. We've been in development of this product since December. We reoriented our priorities about 3 weeks ago in light of the COVID-19 epidemic and pushed back the release of this greater functionality so that we could offer the free version, which has a little bit less functionality, but is still a fully serviceable scheduling tool, and make it free for retailers today, because we felt like that was the most important thing to help out bike shops kind of combat this COVID-19 impact. The differences and what we'll be releasing later in April with the Schedule Plus product comes down to additional functionality, including some customized appointment types. So the retailer can set multiple different types of service appointments that have different pricing displayed to the rider, have different descriptions, has different amounts of time that it debits from that location's availability. It'll have some more robust reporting tools that are built into there, and as well as some additional customer acquisition portals where that retailer shop will be presented, i.e. even within the Beeline Connect portal, as well as with some of the brands that we work with in our fulfillment product. So it's a little bit more of a customer acquisition marketing tool in addition to a scheduling tool.
All right, looks like maybe the last one here. Can you show how a customer selects a mobile pickup and then delivery versus having the bike worked on at home?
Yeah, so the schedule software is not purpose-built for a two scheduled event, like you've just described. Hey, can you pick up my bike with your mobile shop on the 2nd, and then can you drop it off on the 5th? It is functionality that we are seeing retailers using Beeline software for today. But the rider's experience is they would effectively be scheduling two separate appointments, and or what happens most commonly is the bike shop will reach out to that customer after they've scheduled their first appointment and say, hey, this is the scope of the work. The retailer has the ability to proxy schedule for a customer a follow-up mobile appointment or even in-store appointment. And then the retailer is working with the customer via email, text, or phone call to say, let's schedule the next time that you want to have us come back to your house and drop this bike off. So great question. That's not a perfectly streamlined functionality that's available today. It is on the horizon for what we are going to make available, is kind of a true pickup and drop off mobile experience.
All right, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much, Neil, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. It was great to be able to show this stuff off, and I look forward to the next opportunity.
And we will have a webinar with you next week showing the fulfillment side. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, we'll run through what the fulfillment product is, which is it's more of a marketing tool, where the schedule software is a fantastic tool for bicycle retailers to interact with their existing customers and really help handle some of the COVID-19 impact that we're all feeling. The fulfillment tool is more of a customer acquisition. How do you find new customers in an organized, scheduled way and help them come into your business, whether that's a mobile experience or an in-shop experience. So, but we will review all of that, I believe, next Thursday.
All right, and can you give your email just one more time?
Certainly. So I'm available directly at Neil, N-E-I-L, at BeelineConnect.com. All general questions are also, you can send to subscriptions at beelineconnect.com, and I or another one of the Beeline Connect team will be happy to get back to you in quick order.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, and thank everyone who joined us this morning.
Thank you.
Bye.